And it's 8 p.m. Welcome to the City Newsroom. My name is Vivian Lokko. Tonight I'm here with
Umaru, Sanda, Amadu.
Coming up, a year after the Ghana Commercial Bank took over UT and Capital Banks, we trace the circumstances that led to the fall of the two shining stars of indigenous business.
We'll be hearing that. Also, Mayor of Tamale reveals his grand plan to extend the use of some landfill site. Indeed, the landfill site that is being overfilled at Bone. We'll be bringing you details from Tamale.
And JH Mensa has been laid to rest, with the president describing him as a patriot and visionary. And
IOCO, the Economic and Organized Crimes Office, and the Special Prosecutor's Office have spoken on the issues surrounding the vehicles of Boku Central Member of Parliament, Mahama Ayariga. We'll be telling you what they've been saying.
And we'll also bring you a response from President following City FM's petition over the health sector. There's many more coming up. Let's go to our very first story. And government outlines plans to complete and operationalize abandoned health facilities and healthcare delivery in response to City FM and Occupy Ghana's petition to the presidency.
Now, as we will be bringing you details on that particular story, because here at City FM, the research desk headed by Kojo Akoto Boatin has been investigating this issue, and there are details of what exactly the president has been saying. But before then, let's move on and talk about some other issues now in the banking sector. It's been 5 years.
Let's start rather with the landfill site.
All right,
let me bring you just a bit of that.
Okay.
Then we go into the banking sector, which you're in a hurry to hear about.
We need to know what has been happening there so far. But of course, take us to the
let's go to the landfill site, because 5 years into its operations, the landfill site is almost full and bursting at the seams. This is why the mayor of Tema, Felix Ni-Ananla, says the assembly will do everything possible, including the seizure of lands close to the site, to expand the facility.
Now, this, he says, has become necessary as site inches closer to a total shutdown. There is more in the following report.
This privately owned land adjacent to the Thun landfill site will soon be forcefully taken over by the Tema Metropolitan Assembly to increase the capacity of the landfill site. Though the site was originally designed to accommodate waste from Tema and its environs, it now serves the entire Greater Accra region. Averaging a daily intake of 1,200 tons of solid waste, it comes as no surprise that the landfill site could shut down by the end of this year, 10 years earlier than expected. Speaking to City News, Mayor of Tema, Felix Mensa Ni-Ananla, indicated that the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, has also consented to the move.
We still believe there are some space that we can do 2 additional cells to save the situation. So apart from it getting full, we have this plan in place. I've mentioned to my top hierarchy, and they believe that the landfill site serves the whole Greater Accra. So whatever we can do there, being it acquiring the land compulsorily from those people who have gone to buy the land from there, we are going to do that and make sure we have the 2 additional cells. Because we are going in for compulsory acquisition. Compulsory acquisition, like I said, if there will be any other issue, it will be looked at later. This directive is from His Excellency, the President. Like I said, we are not leaving any stone unturned. As far as the landfill issues are concerned, we have the backing of His Excellency, the President, because we don't want to fail in the agenda to make Accra the cleanest city. So we are moving with all resources, with all powers that we have to make sure we come out with the additional cells to expand the landfill site so that we will be in a good position to manage the waste.
If the landfill site cannot separate and recycle the tons of waste it receives daily, then increasing its capacity would not yield much either. This is why the supervisor of the facility, N.S. Ijawan, is charging the assembly to employ a long-term solution to the problem.
I do call on those who can make it work that this is the time to start getting alternative place. If possible, it shouldn't be landfilling again. It should be waste to something that could use our waste to generate either power, composting, or any available means to treat the waste from what we are doing now. But the system that we are going through now is not about landfilling. Even there are no lands around. That land is small. It could create few space for maybe some 1 or 2 years operation, but that will not kill our sanitation issue. If possible, plans are not gotten or are not installed to take care of future. If we look at within short 2-3 years that we can use that one to treat our waste, what of from that time going? So while you're looking at the short-term plan to take care of the situation, you should project and look at 10 years plus what will happen. So it's good they have managed to involve the president or the government to intervene, getting this land for the short-term plan, but we have to also look beyond getting other areas that could treat plant or could take care of the waste for a longer period.
By the end of this year, this landfill site is expected to be full. And if the assembly fails to acquire this land to construct the 2 cells needed to support the facility, then the fate of waste management for the entire city will continue to hang in the balance. Reporting for City News from the Pone landfill site, my name is Ni Ama.
So let's take you back to our first story, which has to do with the response from the Office of the President. We have written to the President a petition jointly signed with Occupy Ghana. Now, the President, having referred that letter to the Ministry for Health, has got some responses, and they are sharing that with us. For details of that particular responses, I've been joined in studio on the City Newsroom studio by Head of Research at City FM, Kojo Akoto-Boateng. Kojo, you're welcome.
Thank you, Sanda.
So we are getting some results, aren't we?
Yeah, we have a response from the presidency, response detailing the various states of the various hospitals that we mentioned.
Okay.
A response detailing the actions that are going to be taken to fix the emergency response system.
Before you tell us about the responses, what did we ask the presidency to do?
So we've been tracking health facilities across the country, and it was obvious that a lot of them were not being completed on schedule. Some were abandoned, some were done but not operationalized. One example is the UGMC. So we campaigned for the UGMC to be opened. It was opened.
Okay.
But then beyond that, there are a lot of other health facilities around the country. So we petitioned the president to look into them and to ensure that those that are done be operationalized, those that are way behind schedule be streamlined so that we complete them on schedule, and those abandoned be seen to. So that was one leg of the petition.
Okay.
The other was to deal with the emergency response system. Remember that we've been dealing with the no bed syndrome. A 70-year-old man died. It generated a national conversation. So two things. We saw 2 things: fix the physical infrastructure and fix the system with everything that it needs to deliver healthcare to Ghanaians.
So they wrote a letter at the beginning of the end of last month and said that they had acknowledged receipt of our letter and that they were going to act on it. Now the action has happened. And
now we have a detailed response,
okay,
point by point response to the petition that City FM and Occupy Ghana sent to the presidency. So essentially, let me just wrap it all up. So there are about 21 facilities that we outlined. Out of these 21, 16 are facilities under the Ministry of Health.
Okay.
Now, the remaining 5 are under different institutions. So there is a police hospital which is under the Ministry of Interior. There is the military hospital in Kumasi which is under Ministry of Defense. There's the bank hospital under the Bank of Ghana.
Okay.
There is the Ofanko hospital which is under Roads and Highways
Ministry.
And then there is the KNUST hospital which is under the KNUST.
Okay, so these they do not have jurisdiction.
These they do not respond to.
Of Health.
But the 16 under the Ministry of Health, the Konfanoche maternity and pediatric unit, which has been there for about 42 years.
Tell us about that facility.
That project started in 1974.
1974.
It's supposed to be a 1,000 bed capacity maternity and pediatric unit for Konfanoche.
1974 under Achampong.
Yes.
That was when the contract was awarded.
That was when the contract was awarded and execution began.
And
so technically it's been going on for 42 years. And we are where we are because it's not done. We feel financial challenges. The Ministry of Health has been proposing ways to fix this, but usually they don't get the clearance they need from the Ministry of Finance. Now we are told that we are going to need about $98 million to complete that particular facility. Now all the facilities that we asked the presidency to take action on, we need about $173 million to complete those facilities and operationalize them.
So the CAF project takes a chunk of it.
It's taking a chunk of it.
Did we hear from this response whether we have the resources or we have means of getting these resources to complete that project?
What the response is on the CAF project? Let me read word for word, if you don't mind. It says that the ministry submitted the term sheet of MJ Harris for an amount of $206 million. MJ Harris is an institution that expressed interest in funding and completing some of their facilities. But the Ministry of Finance didn't act on it. This was in 2014. 2015, Ministry of Finance didn't act on it. Now in 2014, again, the ministry received another proposal of an amount of 100 million euros from Ellipse projects based in France for the completion of this. They didn't get any. They didn't go ahead with this project.
So over the period, there have been proposals for a revamp of that project.
Now there's a new proposal at the Ministry of Finance for a review and an advice from the government as to what to do.
So that's one of the key projects.
Yeah.
Which other projects do we have?
We have the Eurojet group of hospitals, 2 regional hospitals, 6 district hospitals. Those hospitals are also delaying.
What are the Eurojet group of projects?
So the Eurojet group is a group that is undertaking a turnkey project for Ghana, building 8 facilities. One of them is the Sewa Hospital, which is going to be the Ashanti Regional Hospital. There are some other hospitals as well. Now, for those projects, we've been given some timelines to some of the projects. So, the Kumasi Hospital, the Kumasi Regional Hospital, is supposed to be done June 2019. It's costing us $64.9 million. Now, the ones that are going to be done this year, we have the Wa Regional Hospital, which is supposed to be ready in October 2018. We have the Medina District Hospital, November 2018. We have the Nsoko Hospital, December 2018. So for these ones, we've been told that by December, they'll all be ready and operationalized. This is the report. The rest should be ready in 2019.
So we should expect about 3 hospitals to be ready this year?
Yes, 3 hospitals. One has a capacity of 160 beds, which is the Wa Regional Hospital, the Upper West Regional Hospital. One has a capacity of 100 beds, which is in Medina, and the other is in Nsoko, which is 60 beds.
And then we have a few outstanding for next year.
We have a few outstanding for next year.
We can track these.
We can track these. So what the presidency's response has done is that there are specific timelines which you and I can track. So if in October 2018 the Medina Hospital is not done, we can go back to them and ask them, you said you'll get this done in October 2018.
And did they say there is funding so that they are sure that they will be done? So we don't hear the issue about funding.
There was no funding issue mentioned in this. At the moment, what we know is that the key issues that were to do with tax rebates, VAT refunds, and all those things have been dealt with or are being dealt with. So
let's talk about the elephant in the room. The district hospitals, there were supposed to be 7 of them. Only one has been constructed.
Yes.
The one in
the Dodowa district hospital is done. The Sekendita Krade hospital is not done. The Abetifi hospital is not done. Garu is not done. Kumewu is not done. Fomena is not done. And the issue is to do with extra funds that the contractor is asking for, about $35 million. Now, this group of hospitals was going to cost us $175 million. There were delays, contractual issues. Now the contractor is asking for an extra $35 million to be able to complete these. What is happening is that an audit is being undertaken to ascertain the value of works done and whether indeed the contractor deserves to be giving an extra $35 million to do this. Once that is done, the construction will proceed for us to have these hospitals.
So these are the hospitals under the Ministry of Health. Let's talk about the ones that they do not have jurisdiction over, but which were mentioned in this petition to the President.
So the Interior Ministry is to answer on the police hospital.
Do we know if the President forwarded our petition to the Ministry for the Interior like they did to the Ministry of Health?
So 2 key ministries responded in this particular petition. The Ministry of Roads and Highways responded on the various projects that were part of integrated road construction. So Fanko is one of them. There are some other facilities up north, Larabanga and all those facilities. They have responded and they need about 23 million Ghana cedis to complete them. On the institutional ones, which is Bank of Ghana, police and all those, we don't have a specific response for those ones.
On the issue about rapid response that we've been requesting for, in 30 seconds, what did they say they are going to do?
There's a committee set up, and by end of this year, 2018, we should have a national emergency call center that is on the rapid response. We are also to get more ambulances, and by this month ending, there's a committee which is going to release a report on why the 70-year-old man died after being taken to 6 hospitals.
Kojo Boatin, Head of Research, thank you for being on City Newsroom.
Thank you, Sanda.
Well, this is City Newsroom on City TV, coming to you from number 11, Dr. Martin Loeb in Adabraka in Accra. Let's move on. And some students and alumni, as well as associates of the university and unity halls of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, have petitioned the Asante Hene Otumfuo II to direct the University of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology to put on hold plans to convert the halls to mixed residences. The group demonstrated and marched through the principal streets of Kumasi. Ashanti Regional Correspondent Loretta Tima followed the protesters.
Students and alumni of university and unity halls of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, this morning thronged the streets to demonstrate against the proposed conversion of the halls to mixed-gender halls. Some alumni have come from as far as Accra to join the protest to protect what they call tradition nurtured and preserved for 55 years. They are calling for a more suitable solution to the acute accommodation crisis. This is not the first time a protest of such a nature is happening. Last Friday, alumni of Katanga staged a similar protest in Accra and petitioned the Education Ministry to intervene. These students argue that the university has for many years suffered from neglect and mismanagement with respect to residential facilities, and that placing a few females in Katanga for the benefit of a handful of females is not the solution to the acute accommodation crisis.
We are not allowing that. It is a traditional hall and it must stay as that. That is our petition. We will not allow it to happen. And so we are demonstrating, we are taking our petition to Otumfuo's palace to inform him that he should invite the VC and talk to him about this problem.
We are championing this to say students' front must still be strong and even stronger in these days where there is too much politics in whatever we do, especially in our academics, where we need students who will stand up, not fight, but intellectually demonstrate to them that students deserve better. That is why we are on the streets. So we are against the conversion of these wonderful halls into mixed halls.
They have presented a petition to the Ashanti Overlord, Otumfuo II, who also doubles as the Chancellor of the university, requesting an order of stay on the proposal to convert the halls to a mixed-gender hall until a clear demonstration of how the proposal will address the acute shortage of campus accommodation. A delegation has already presented the petition to Otumfuo's representative at the Mensa Palace. From the Ashanti region, Kumasi, for City News, Loretta Tima.
Now, the late statesman and NPP stalwart Joseph Henry Mensa, popularly remembered as JH Mensa, was laid to rest today at the new military cemetery. JH Mensa, who died a month ago at the 37 military hospital, was 89 years old.
We'll bring you more on that.
Born on October 30, 1928, JH Mensa served as MP and Finance Minister under Kofi Bozia Progressive Party administration from 1969 to 1972, which was cut short by Ignatius Kutu Echampo's coup. In December 1996, JH Mensa successfully contested a parliamentary seat in Sunyani East on the ticket of the NPP, won and served as minority leader in parliament between 1997 and 2001. He was also the senior minister under President John Kufuor later in 2001. It is worth noting that under his leadership, the National Planning Commission drew up and implemented the 7-year development plan from 1962 to 1969. From his rich profile, it is evident the country has lost a statesman in JH Mensa. At the final funeral rite for the late JH Mensa today, President Akufo-Addo said the former senior minister was an insightful leader.
Today I can recall, as if it was yesterday, his thoughtful observation that the country needed to find a way to employ the infrastructure of our schools, which lies dormant for nearly half of the year. JH instinctively pointed over a decade ago to the double-track system that the nation is about to experience. That was the measure of the man, insightful and perceptive.
The senior minister, Yao Osafo-Mafo, who read the tribute on behalf of the state, said Ghana has indeed lost an icon.
Our nation has lost a colossus and we are distraught. We are, however, consoled by the knowledge that the Lord knows better than we do. Every soul shall taste death. It's a truism from which we cannot escape. But when death beckons, the important question that ought to be answered by the living is, did he live a worthy life? When it comes to JH Mensa, we have no hesitation in answering the question in the affirmative. JH Mensa was the embodiment of the virtues and qualities that build a nation.
Some senior government officials also shared their fondest memories of the late JH Mensa.
He is an exceptional person in Ghana and in our political life. He was a man who could best be described as a patriot and a nationalist.
As a leader of minority, he literally gave leadership in all the fields, not only in the economy, but even in defense, even in respect of internal security. He was a very accomplished scholar.
I would say he's my mentor, actually. He himself, JH Mensa, and one opposition leader in Britain during Margaret Thatcher's time, his name was Neil Kinnock. These were the two people that I followed to be so interested in politics, which has led me in politics. JH was a symbol for Brahafo. And those of us who from Brahafo and got the opportunity to read economics like him, followed him. I always wished that I got the opportunity to work with him, but never happened until when he came to Parliament here, and I was also appointed Deputy Minister of Finance, right, during Kufuor's administration.
The late JH Mensa, who played a very significant role in Ghana's politics, has finally been laid to rest. For City News, Philip Nilate.
Sanda, may his soul rest in peace.
Indeed, and he was a really important person in our democracy. And if you listen to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo's tribute, he talks about how Dr. Osagyefo Kwame Nkrumah benefited from him, Jerry John Rawlings benefited from him, John Ejekun Kufuor benefited from him. And he was really a big man in all respects.
I was reading that of Kwesi Botre and Nimoy Thompson and others, and great tributes, beautiful tributes. Shows such a great person.
Indeed, if you should have listened to the one from the president, the one from even Osafo-Mafo himself, who is now serving in the capacity that he wants. I think he's the first man we've ever had serve in that capacity called senior minister.
That's right.
Which means he was a senior amongst all ministers. He couldn't have possibly taken any portfolio when John Ejekun Kufuor ascended to the high office of president.
That's right. And these are the kind of people you want for mentors.
Indeed.
You're still watching the City Newsroom. My name is Vivian Lokko. I'm here with
Umaru, Sanda, Amadu. When we come back, there's more.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on City TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complete. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Sela Madonu on City TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
interviews, poetry, and more with your favorite personalities. Be our guest on Saturdays from 2 to 4 p.m. for the most exciting moments on TV. Join Kojo Akoto for real entertainment right in your living room. Saturday Live on City TV and City 97.3 FM.
Welcome back to the City Newsroom. My name is Vivian Lokko. Now, the Office of the Special Prosecutor and the Economic and Organized Crime Office, YOCO, have denied seizing vehicles belonging to Boku Central Member of Parliament, Mahama Ayariga. Instead, the two investigative bodies say they are treating the vehicles as exhibits in an ongoing investigation against the MP. Now, the Special Prosecutor and YOCO are investigating Mahama Ayariga for possible tax evasion in the importation of 3 luxury vehicles. Earlier media reports suggested YOCO had seized the 3 vehicles from the legislator, but in a clarification made to City News, the 2 institutions said only 2 of the V8s are in their exhibit garage, adding that no seizure notices have been issued to that effect. They stated further that the 3rd vehicle, which was recently involved in an accident, is in the custody of the police at Kaswa. Now, the acting Vice-Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, Professor Father Anthony Afol-Brony, has told City News the legal tussle his tenure is facing has had no effect on the administration of the institution. In an exclusive interview with City News, Professor Afol-Brony advised the public to disregard what he described as the gloomy picture painted about the university. He says his tenure as the acting VC has rather been recording unprecedented intakes, infrastructural development, and a more constructive relationship with the local people. My colleague Joseph Akon-Mensah has more.
Professor Father Afol-Brony was made the acting Vice-Chancellor of the University of Education, Winneba, following the constitution of the university's current governing council. Though the university has been involved in some legal tussles concerning its administration during his leadership, the acting Vice-Chancellor says his tenure has rather seen unprecedented successes.
When all of these hula baloo have happened, we have strangely recorded over 40,000 applications. Compare that to 29,000, which was the best ever. So what is it that makes a chaotic place have more students wanting to come? So then it should tell you that it is not true. There's no truth in it. People have found it for themselves that what people are talking about, that there's chaos in the UUW, is not true. Otherwise, why would so many people want to come to this university? Our sandwich intake has increased by 68% compared to last year. For me, these statistics are real. They are verifiable. And those things alone should tell you that things are going very well in the university.
The University of Education, Winneba, has been charged with a core responsibility to train teachers for the pre-university level. And the acting Vice-Chancellor says the shift to the double-track system is the way to go.
To set up this free senior high school, because we know that when you have free compulsory universal basic education, it only goes so far. It is senior high school education that will propel you to go to tertiary education, where proper development and being empowered and becoming more independent and skilled is going to be achieved. And so we are commending the government for the free senior high school policy, and we are also commending the government for its boldness when we realized that there were more people than we anticipated quickly coming up with a solution, which is the double track system. It's a very courageous thing, and so to throw our hands in the air and to criticize it without any solution being offered is not being helpful to the nation. And so we are very supportive of what government is doing with regard to the free senior high school and the double track system, because both are grounded in research which is internationally acknowledged.
To help realize the university's mandates, the traditional authorities within the Efutu area and other stakeholders have signed a memorandum of understanding with the university for better partnership.
From the campus of the University of Education, Winneba, I am Joseph Akulmesa for City News.
Now, spokesperson of the group calling itself the Concerned NPP Youth Coalition in Tamale, Baba Al-Hassan, has been granted bail in court. Baba Al-Hassan was picked up yesterday in connection with the recent chasing out of office of the Chief Executive Officer of the Tamale Teaching Hospital, Dr. David Kolbila.
Now, Baba Al-Hassan earlier in a City News interview justified the group's action, hence his arrest. He was arraigned this morning and has been granted bail. City News' Abdul Karim Naktogma has the details.
The accused, Baba Al-Hassan, this morning appeared before His Honor Justice Anthony Eduku Edu, presiding judge of a magistrate court 2 in Tamale. He has been granted bail of 10,000 cedis with 3 sureties, and that the 3 sureties should be government salary earners, earning not less than 1,000 cedis. They are also to submit their passport-size photographs to the court registrar today in fulfillment of the bail requirements. His counsel, lawyer Mohammed Shaibu, pleaded for clemency in view of his client's remorseful conduct. According to lawyer Mohammed Shaibu, the facts, as stated by the prosecutor, did not indicate that the accused, Baba Al-Hassan, attempted to steal or cause damage to the Tamale Teaching Hospital property. Therefore, the charge against the accused is a misdemeanor. The presiding judge, His Honor Justice Anthony Eduku Edu, sent a clear message to the general public that it is time for people to take full responsibility of their actions. He said even though the accused person may not have been captured on the video that went viral in social media, the action of the Concerned NPP Youth Coalition group, of which the accused is the spokesperson, denied people their right to medical care in view of the health workers' 3-day strike. Abdul Karim Natogma, City News, Tamale, Northern Region.
And it's been a year since the Bank of Ghana allowed GCB to assume UT and Capital banks in the purchase and assumption agreement. Now, the central bank, among others, cited the 2 banks for operating below the minimum capital levels, which could have had dire consequences on the financial sector. The following report brings you a wrap on the journey so far on how shareholders of UT Bank have been blamed for the bank's woes.
Prince Kofi Amwabeng was one of the founders of UT Bank. He, at the time, was seen as one of the success stories in Ghana. As its chief operating officer, Captain Bodu Kumson, at the time will put it, the bank's plan was to become a global brand.
We are looking at expanding to so many countries, and our target is to be in 10 other countries apart from Ghana by the end of 2013.
The challenges he faced in getting a loan and the need to help indigenous businesses get access to credit pushed him to start the bank. But in the end, it appears the change he sought to make to correct this challenge pushed him into a realm where success was not an option. 18 years after the inception of what became a success story, the country woke up to news that the once enviable bank which had become a household name over the years, had collapsed. 7 o'clock on Monday morning, the 14th of August, 2017. News just broke over the purchase of UT Bank by GCB Bank. Dr. Edu Ananientwi was a former Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission. He was lecturing at the Ghana Stock Exchange together with Mr. Kofi Amoabeng when the latter began moves to commence a finance house which later became UT Bank. He explains to me that the failure of many indigenous companies to pay back loans taken from UT Bank contributed largely to its demise.
Loans that they have given out and people are not paying. That is a huge challenge for all banks. If you look at annual reports, you see that a key problem is bad loans. And it also comes down to our attitude, Ghanaians' attitude of not paying back loans they collect for their business.
Immediately after the announcement was made, trading of UT Bank stock on the Ghana Stock Exchange was halted. MD of the Ghana Stock Exchange, Mr. Kofi Yamwa, explained in a press conference the way forward.
2 reasons for the suspension. The first is that there were no financial information from them for some time, contrary to the rules of the exchange. Somebody may ask, if that is the case, why now? From the governance conference, you realize that we had to coordinate carefully with Bank of Ghana so that the financial stability, so the stability of the financial system is not compromised.
A year on, and a report by Boulders Advisors Limited mentions cases of related party lending, as well as the inability of former CEO Prince Kofi Amoabeng to disclose the repayment of a 5 million cedi debt to the board. Again, that the bank had outstanding liabilities to claim from companies including Ibrahim Maham's related companies, Quincy St. Tim's related companies, Beige Group's related companies, totaling 656.4 million cedis. Meanwhile, on his first and only public comment so far, after the revocation of the license, Mr. Amoabeng disagreed with the claims of not disclosing the 5 million cedi debt repayment. He explained that the amount rather involved the payment of a personal property a client purchased, proceeds of which were to be used to shore up the bank's liquidity challenges. Mr. Amoabeng also says he will cooperate with the investigations of Yoko until finality is brought to the matter. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has also cautioned that all persons found culpable will not be spared.
The question is not one of a banking failure. I need to be able to tell you that that managing director or that shareholder stole that money. And it has to be very upfront because that's 5 billion that I'm using as opposed to in SHS or school feeding or maternal pregnancy, and the issue of sentiments out of it.
Meanwhile, in this report, we look at how reports of financial mismanagement at Capital Bank led to the severe liquidity issues and subsequent collapse of the bank.
Capital Bank gained its banking license in August 2013. This was after the company had transformed from a savings and loans entity, First Capital Plus Limited, which had been operating since 2009. Its key founders include Mr. Atu Essien and Dr. Mensa Otabil. The two gentlemen operated as founder and chairman respectively. Reverend Fitzgerald Odonko subsequently joined as CEO of the bank. The woes of Capital Bank date as far as 2014, when it was First Capital Plus Bank. A leaked memo subsequently published by the Insight newspaper indicated that the CEO at the time, John Kofi Mensa, cautioned that the bank was on the verge of collapse. In Mr. Mensa's words, the situation is a time bomb. He also argued that the bank has capitalization issues and may not be able to meet its obligations to its clients, with a daring challenge associated with third-party fund TPF. For Mr. Mensa, the apparent lack of urgency to solve the problems even after the recommendations Our 3-member committee established to investigate the issues confronting the bank left much to be desired. Within its first year as a bank, Capital Bank was awarded as the best bank in 3 categories at the Ghana Banking Awards. The company was adjudged the best growing bank, best bank in deposits and savings, and best bank in household retail banking for the year 2015. Fast forward to 2017, and Capital Bank is considered as one of the distressed banks which are unable to meet their cash requirements to transact business. Weeks after the Bank of Ghana announced that some 9 banks have dire liquidity challenges, hence it will be compelled to take drastic action against them, the news broke that GCB Bank has taken over Capital Bank and UT Bank in a purchase agreement. A year into the collapse of the bank, and a report by Boulders Advisors Limited cited the founder of Capital Bank, William Atu Essien, for misappropriating part of the 610 million cedis liquidity support provided by the Bank of Ghana. Amongst others, Mr. Essien is cited as using the support to invest in other businesses such as All Time Capital, Commerce Savings and Loans, Ocean Spring, Ascent Financial Services, among others. Meanwhile, the former board chairman of Capital Bank, Pastor Mensa Otabil, has also absolved himself of acting to prevailing report. His basis is that he has been a non-executive board member since. Finance Minister Ken Oforiatta has also cautioned that all persons found culpable will not be spared.
The question is not one of a banking failure. I need to be able to tell you that that managing director or that shareholder stole that money. And it has to be very upfront because that's 5 billion that I'm using as opposed to in SHS or school feeding or maternal pregnancy, and the issue of sentiments are out of it.
Now, the District Chief Executive for Sunafo South in the Bono-Ahafo region, Osei Senior, has ordered the police in his district to shoot any person who attacks the police. He was speaking at the handing over of a police post at Anwiam. CitiNewsroom's Michael Sapon Mfum has the rest of the story.
Anwiam and its environs is noted for armed robbery, especially the stretch between Kukuom and Bibiani. The Cooperative Cocoa Farmers and Marketing Union in the Sunafo South, as part of its contribution to the development of the area, constructed a police post powered by solar at a cost of 100,000 Ghana cedis for the community to reduce crime. President of the Kukuom Cooperative Cocoa Farmers and Marketing Union, Nana Baswa Kumenin Detect, said government alone cannot carry out developmental projects. This, he said, motivated them to put up the facility.
Nasa de okodi ni pa ba beji okopia confusion omu ni ye se obeka ame ye hu se ha no mu hyenti omu je ne nkwa firi ne nsem ye no moti ena ye so da ye se sebe esese si ye hihye mu ye de bi bua ya setre mu ye de a necessary ye sidan e de ba bia ya sa confusion fo e di dwumadi e ti sei se de be ya e be bua ne nya bambo papa the setimemu fo no ye da ye timiada na ma yakwani abedi nso ayeden ayemre amaye.
The District Chief Executive for Sunafo South, Osei Senior, speaking at the handing over ceremony of the police post, ordered the police to shoot anyone who attacks them.
Any civilian who attacks the police should be shot. Because we don't have to take things for granted. Because the way these people, they are harassing the policemen, in fact, if they sit down and then they said they are from our area, so we won't mind them. In fact, they will take over the police. So we have told them that anybody who attacks the police should be shot. That's what we have told them. They have also adhered to advice.
The Goso Divisional Police Commander, ACP Ebenezer Labi, who received the keys to the police post on behalf of the police command, called for an end to interference in their operations.
When they go to court, after granting them bail, they come back and do the same thing. And court system, I cannot comment on court system because I'm not working at the court. But what is my place that whenever we arrest them and we send them, the authorities shouldn't go behind us and grant them bail. Because when they come back, it's the same people they come and attack. So if they can help us, they shall allow the law to take its course, so that when they go to jail, it will serve as a deterrent to the others. The moment they go in and bring them back, it becomes square one. Now that we haven't achieved anything. So my plea to the authorities, the other politicians or whoever, those who are supporting them, they should desist from those things so that we can maintain peace and give the people at Sankore and its environs maximum protection and security.
For City News, I am Michael Saponinfum.
Now, the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament has tasked the Department of Parks and Gardens of Ho in the Volta region to immediately terminate the retirement benefits of some 9 former employees of the agencies who received unearned salaries for about a year. This, the committee said, will enable the department retrieve the about 76,000 Ghana cedis paid to them illegally after their retirement. The revelation, which was captured in the Auditor General's report for 2016, indicated that the regional landscape designer failed to officially notify the Controller and Accountant General's department for the termination of their salaries.
Led by the 2 deputy ministers for local government and rural development, Obiamwa and Ajay at the Public Accounts Committee of Parliament sitting today, the Department of Parks and Gardens of the Volta region could not present cogent reasons why they failed to retrieve about 76,000 Ghana cedis of unearned salaries paid to workers who were on retirement. Officials of the department revealed that only 10,000 of the amount was retrieved, as the said officers could not be traced easily.
That was issued during the audit. The officer was able to retrieve close to 10,242.02 as at that time, 2016. Later, we were supposed to follow up from the retirees, but unfortunately, these are officers who have relocated to various places, and getting them to retrieve the rest has been a challenge.
You, as the head of that entity or the supervising officer, it behoves on you to ensure that at least their salaries are stopped as and when they separate with the organization. And so failure to do that, we have no other person to hold down that person.
You agree with me that these are purely administrative issues, and when letters of this nature are written, there is the tendency that along the line the issues may get stalled. So I will just plead with the committee that we give us a further few time so that we can address the issues.
But the chairman of the committee, James Kulichi Aveji, charged the ministry to collaborate with the Controller and Accountant General Department to recover the funds.
Our recommendation is that because these people, out of the 10, 1 is deceased, the remaining 9 are on pension. Fortunately, they are on receiving their pension through SNIT. So we've recommended to the director to liaise with the SNIT office in Ho, the Controller and Accountant General in Ho, to ensure that these people are contacted, because according to them, they cannot even get them. So first of all, they should place a hold on their pension. If they place a hold on their pension, if they go and then they direct them to go back to the Parks and Garden office in Ho, then they will tell them that you have received salaries that you did not earn. And for that matter, you have to pay back the money. Those of them who will be in a position to pay outright, they have to pay. Those that will not be in a position to pay outright, definitely there must be an arrangement for deduction should be made from their pension on gradual basis until the refund is complete.
The NCCE, the Public Services Commission, the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development, Ministry of Tourism were some of the agencies and ministries that appeared today before the Public Accounts Committee here in Parliament. Reporting for City News, I am Anas Seidu.
You're still watching the City Newsroom, coming to you from number 11, Dr. Martin Lupin at Abraka in Accra on City TV. I am Umaru Sanda, Amadu here with
Vivian, Lokko. We have more stories when we come back.
It's engaging, detailed, and loaded with factual and incisive analysis. It's The Big Issue, your preferred Saturday morning news and current affairs analysis program on City TV. Tune in this and every Saturday at 9 a.m. and hear the newsmakers discuss the top issues for the week.
At that time, Charlotte was complex. I'm not defending Charlotte. I'm talking about the way we behave like hypocrites and ostriches in this country. At that time, she was a perfect person.
It's The Big Issue with Stella Madonu on City TV. This and every Saturday at 9 a.m.
Wherever the weekend sporting action happened, we will bring it to you here on Scorecard. Every goal, every dunk, every punch, the winning strides, and the winning volleys.
International media, he said, look, wait, sit and wait. Let me have a meal with my people. And I think that's the same cool, it's the same organization he brings to the field every time I've seen him play. He looks to me like somebody who's played over 50 caps already. Okay. But this guy has barely played over 25 caps for the national team.
All of the weekend's action in one place. Scorecard, every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. prompt on City TV.
And traders at the Tiptoe Lane near the Kwame Nkrumah Circle in Accra, whose shops were ransacked, are calling for the arrest of the perpetrators. 13 shops were broken into by some unknown persons some days ago. The affected persons have blamed 2 Nigerians for the incident, saying it was a deliberate attempt to take over their businesses. Chairman of the Circle No. 1 Traders Association, Seth Owusu-Yeboah, spoke to City News.
The unknown persons broke the doors of the 13 shops and took away various items, including mobile phones, shirts, laptops, and money. The furious traders did not hide their anger as they vowed to stop further attempts to demolish their structures. Although the perpetrators are not known, the traders are blaming 2 Nigerians who own a story building close to their shops as the people behind the attempted demolition. It took appeals from Deputy Interior Minister Henry Korte, who is also the Member of Parliament for the area, to calm the angry traders. However, a visit to the area today revealed that the traders have resumed their operations. Chairman of the Circle No. 1 Traders Association, Seth Yeboah, has been speaking to City News.
When the incident happened, the divisional commander invited us to Nima to make an official report. So, together with my people, the 13 affected people, we went to Nima police station to lodge a complaint. And yesterday, we were called to come. Unfortunately, when we went, the leader was having a meeting, so we couldn't meet the leader. We were told that we should come today. So today when we went, another meeting was held, and they have directed us to come on Monday so that they will invite the Alaji, the leader who did that thing. They invite him, then if possibly they will invite the Honorable Minister Moses Abo, and then together with us, so that we come and sit down, we talk, we see the way forward.
The whereabouts of the two Nigerians is not currently known. The police would not give much information, but City News has learned a man was arrested earlier this week in connection with the incident. Mr. Yeboah again says the perpetrators must be brought to book.
Oh, we don't have problem with the Nigerians, but the problem we are having is the one who instructed them to did what they do previous day. Yes, but Nigerians, we the Ghanaians, we are not having any grudge with Nigerians at all. The government should help us arrest the one who did that.
The Deputy Interior Minister, Henry Korte, has assured that investigations will begin into the incident. It is unclear when the investigations will end. For City News, I am Nana Oyankra.
Now, with hundreds of skyscrapers springing up in the capital and beyond, the Ghana Standards Authority has warned that these may be death traps as building owners have failed to get their elevators and hoists authorized by its outfit. It would surprise you to know that only one of such skyscrapers in the capital has an approved elevator. My colleague Marie-France Fojo has more.
Accra's skyline gets magnificent by the day as myriads of skyscrapers spring up, mostly apartments and office complex. These high-rise buildings feature elevators and hoists which permit easy access. But the Ghana Standards Authority has disclosed that, with the exception of one, the over 2,000 skyscrapers in the capital have unapproved lifts and hoists.
Of the 2,000 lifts, we have only one that has been properly verified and certified. And it tells you how disorderly we are as a nation. 2,000, only one certified. So it means that people don't care about safety. People don't want to obey what the law says. And that is why from time to time we encounter accidents here and there.
The Weights and Measures Decree 1975 stipulates that the authority must certify and pattern approve all elevators and hoists before use. So how come thousands of unauthorized ones are in use? Dr. Bediako again.
We have always gone round identifying. Once you see a high-rise building, you know that they're useless. So it's easy to identify them. We have been trying to encounter discussions with them, and some of them are proving difficult. But this time we have come out openly to state the position for the public to know, and we have already written letters signed by our Director General going to them, and if they fail to turn up this time, then we apply the law. We have a sticker, and the sticker is usually green. When we verify and it is safe, we paste it on the lift. Just before you enter, you find out that we are seeing that this lift is safe.
So the next time you use any elevator or hoist, especially in high-rise buildings, look out for a verification sticker from the Ghana Standards Authority guaranteeing that it is safe to use. In the absence of one, you may be putting yourself in harm's way. Marie-France Fojo, City News.
Vivian, I have a personal commitment and a vow. I'm not going to enter a lift.
Same here.
Yes.
And to believe that most of the lifts we're using are actually not been certified and are not safe for us. And all this while, the authority didn't really take any sanction or step in to deal with. And now is warning that what you're doing is right. If you don't change, I'm going to take action. What happens to our safety between that period?
The Ghana Standards Authority has been in this country all these years. Mr. Amposa Bodiakuda is watching him. I know he has been at the GSA for many years. I'm surprised he only remembered this morning that the lifts don't have the appropriate licenses and that they haven't checked them. So they're waiting for people to get stuck in them. Yes, and then they would say to us,
well, we have to leave it here. Log on to our website, CitiNewsroom.com, for more stories. My name is Vivian Lokko. I was here with
Umaru, Sanda, Amadu. Do have a pleasant weekend.
Bye-bye.
Rosina is here. Rosie.
Hi, Jessica.
Let me give you a high five from here. Everything okay?
Everything's
How's
fine.
Your week been?
It's been fantastic.
Well,
and I like what I saw when I was coming in here.
What did you see?
That